Welcome, everyone. This is Jeremy Shapiro, founder of FuseDesk. Thank you for joining us for our post-icon tech talk and L.O.V.E presentation. So with that, we're going to jump right in. There are a few sort of key topics that we're going to be covering today. On our agenda is why great support matters. We'll be going over the L.O.V.E method. We'll jump into a live tech demo, and then we'll handle your live and interactive Q&A. So be ready for those, not only as we go along, but at the end for those who are sticking here on the live call. We'll dive in-app and answer your questions there as well. So raise your hand if you have a physical goods business. This will help me get an idea of who's on the call today. If you sell and ship physical goods, go ahead and click the hand raise icon. Okay, good, super helpful. All right, raise your hand if you're in the services business. Okay, cool. We got folks on the services side. Excellent. That's helpful. And then lastly, raise your hand if you have a subscription-based business. Okay, excellent. That helps just in terms of the examples and things we'll use in today's presentation to get a feel for where you guys are at. Interestingly, it looks like we've got a good mix between those. So let's talk about why great service matters. If a customer leaves you, so what? Why does that matter to you and your business? Well, research tells us again and again that new customers cost 4 to 10 times more to bring on board than it would cost to retain an existing customer. Now, that's a significant difference in revenue when you think about that for your business, right? What is your customer acquisition cost? And what would it be like if your customer stuck around with you just a little bit longer? So let's ask the question then, what is love? What would keep a customer sticking around with us? Well, it's not these two guys from Night at the Roxbury. It's also not all about the Miracles Love Machine. It is a little more about love, the love of your customers loving you, but more importantly for us, love, L-O-V-E, is an acronym. And that stands for a few things. The L in the love comes down to lifetime. This is a matter of how long your customers stick with you and what happens over that lifetime. So we all know that fewer cancellations means that customers will stick with you. That leads to a higher customer lifetime value, or CLV. And if you're taking notes for our presentation today, this is a good one to jot down. The fewer cancellations and fewer members that leave you results in a higher customer lifetime value, or CLV. So how much can the right save system help? And what we mean by this is if we help prevent your customers from canceling and help them to stick with you longer and reduce their refunds, returns, and everything else, what does that mean? Well, let's talk about how with Bernardo and his business, they were able to turn 45% of their cancellation requests into customers not canceling their membership and subscription with them. What could that mean in your business? And how did he do that? Well, we'll touch on that a little bit later on in today's presentation. So jot down Bernardo's name. We'll be talking about the system that they're able to use to get that exact result in their business. That can mean a difference for you too. So let's talk about the O in opportunity. What might the O stand for? Well, like we said there, opportunity. So let's discuss some numbers if you have a membership business like some of us do here, or subscription-based business. Let's assume, for example's sake, that we're talking about a $49 a month membership site. Let's say you've got 3,000 members. If you were able to keep those members for one additional month, that's an extra $147,000 for those members staying with you. Now let's drop that number down a little bit. Let's say you only have 300 members in your business. Well, still having an additional $14,000 in additional revenue just from those customers staying with you longer is quite a game changer for many businesses. So once again, the opportunity of having your customers not loving you, leaving you and going elsewhere is costing you real hard dollars out of pocket because they're no longer paying customers. Now, the V in love, well, that stands for value. We all know that customers bring a lot of value to the table, and when they do return, cancel, refund, leave you, that can hurt the business. So one of our customers that we'll be talking about today as well, Ed, was able to reduce the return rate on his product launch from 18% to 10%. Now, in his case, for his product launch, it was a $3.2 million product launch. So that's a difference there of about $250,000 that Ed was able to keep in his pocket from customers who weren't canceling, refunding, and returning. And he was able to do that using two simple strategies that we'll come back and touch on in today's presentation as well. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, we've got a great rest of the presentation, especially when we get into the tech talk portion and we go in-app and play around there, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Now, this doesn't just apply to, Ed and Bernardo. This is what the Infusionsoft Elite are doing, and this is what the Infusionsoft Elite get when leveraging technology like FuseDesk in their business to take great care of their customers and really have some more like customer love. One of my favorite photos coming out of ICON16 was where we had a chance to talk with Clayt, who, when I first met many years ago when Infusionsoft was first starting, I committed to him that the next business I start, we're kicking off on Infusionsoft. And full circles, we bring that back around. There's Benjamin Elias from our team with Clayt telling us how much the Infusionsoft world loves FuseDesk as well. So thank you, Clayt. This is for the Infusionsoft Elite. This is for you. This is for your business, and this can make a difference for you. It all comes down to service and taking great care of your customers. And there's a quote that I love, which is that if you don't take great care of your customers, someone else will. If you don't take great care of your customers, someone else will. Think about that for a moment. Your customers are going to spend the money. Your customers are going to get the service they're looking for. It just may or may not be with you. When you take great care of them, there's a much better chance they'll be sticking with you versus somewhere else. And that comes down to service being easy, fast, and measurable. Now, I'm curious, by a quick show of hands, how many of you are using email to handle your customer service, like a shared email inbox where your team all works on like a shared Gmail, Outlook, etc.? Okay, cool. Well, one of the differences between email and a help desk solution is that with plain email, it's not measurable. You've got a communication medium, but there's no metrics or anything attached to it. And measurable is really important. Now, out of curiosity, how many of you right now, by a quick show of hands, are using a help desk solution out there right now to take care of your customers? Okay, cool. Good. So when you have a help desk that's third party to Infusionsoft that lets your team manage their cases and get back to customers where you can actually track things, if it's not integrated, connected into Infusionsoft, well, now your team is jumping up and back between multiple systems, and in some cases, clicking around between different screens, sometimes up to 17 to 20 different times, just to do what in an integrated system would just take 1 or 2 clicks. And that's not really that fast, nor is that easy for your team to use. So I was in a situation where, as I launched that business I told Clayt about, we built it on Infusionsoft. We want to take great care of our customers. And we're looking for an easy, fast, and measurable solution. But everything we looked at, when we checked out those options, was missing a critical puzzle piece. I thought it should be easy to have a system that integrates to Infusionsoft, and we tried about a dozen different help desk and email-related options out there so we could have a system to take great care of our customers, and everything was always missing one of the 4 critical puzzle pieces that we were looking for in an integrated help desk. We'd find good help desks, for example, that would allow us to take great care of our customers, but it wasn't integrated to Infusionsoft. And that meant that the emails and correspondences weren't saved in the contact record in Infusionsoft. It meant we weren't able to leverage templates to quickly and easily get back to customers. We couldn't run Infusionsoft automation. We didn't know who our customers were. And we were using just more systems and more duct tape instead of having a fully integrated system. We found integrations for Infusionsoft that were terrible help desks that didn't take care of customers, but at least had a very light integration. We then found systems that were missing everything entirely or were difficult for the staff to use or provided poor customer experience and more. And so I said, well, what if we were to create a solution? What if we created a help desk built for Infusionsoft from day 0? What might that look like? How might that help? What could that do for our business? And there was a mastermind group that I was part of, and we had a number of Infusionsoft users there. And I asked that group, would it be crazy if we built a help desk for Infusionsoft? And at the time, Infusionsoft was a much smaller company. And everyone said to me, well, Jeremy, that'd be a terrible business idea. That doesn't make any sense to build a help desk. But if you're going to do that, can we also have it too? So we got this wonderfully conflicting advice from folks who both were telling us it's not a good business idea, but we also want to be your customers. And so it kind of came down to the fact that we were going to build this anyways because I wanted to take great care of our customers in my other business. And we built FuseDesk, and those initial customers are all still with us to this day, which this was in 2009, and here we are in 2016. And all of those initial customers who said, if you build it, we want that as well, are still with us to today. And we've become the leading help desk add-on for Infusionsoft, the first third-party add-on ever featured by Infusionsoft, one of the flagship add-ons in the marketplace. It's been an awesome journey, and I'm excited you're with us today to dive into the tech talk. So let's jump into the live tech demo. Now, before I show you on my screen what that looks like, this is interactive and I want to have you on your application as well. So let's do this. Let's get you logged in to your FuseDesk application. There are two easy ways to do this. One is at Icon, when you got your demo application, you would have gotten an email from me. Congratulations and welcome to your FuseDesk application email. If you find that email, you'll have a link that you can click that'll log you right into your application. So go ahead and find that email and you can click on that link. The other option is if you go over to FuseDesk.com, at the bottom is a green login button to log into FuseDesk, or you can go to FuseDesk.com/login either way, and you'll put your application name in and log in from there. Now, if for some reason, somehow, you're on today's webinar, which was invite only for our Icon family, and you don't have a FuseDesk demo application, well, you can get one by heading over to FuseDesk.com/demo, and that'll let you go ahead and deploy your demo application so you can follow along with us here today. Good. So with that, let's take a quick look-see here at what it's like when we log in. So when it's your first time logging into FuseDesk, you're going to see your login screen much like this, and we're going to ask you for a few pieces of information. One is we're going to ask for your Infusionsoft ID and password, but we're also going to be looking for your Infusionsoft encrypted API key. If this is your very first time logging into FuseDesk, we'll ask you for this key. After that, we save it on file. We don't ask you again. It's just a one-time thing. What's great is right here where it has the admin application settings, you can click that. That'll bring you right into Infusionsoft, where you can grab that key that you need. So right here in Infusionsoft, under Application, if you scroll on down, you'll have an encrypted key. If you're just logging into Infusionsoft and want to find that on your own, you simply go to the drop-down menu up top here. Under Admin on the bottom right is a link for settings. You can click that, click on Application, and go from there. Now, as a reminder, right from FuseDesk, simply clicking on this link brings you right to the page you need to be on, and you'll come down here for your encrypted API key. Now, if this is blank, you don't have anything, you'll need to enter an API passphrase one time in Infusionsoft. You'll never need to worry about that again. And click Save, and that'll then provide you this encrypted key. So let's go ahead. We'll copy that to our clipboard. We'll close this out, and we'll put in our Infusionsoft encrypted API key and click Login. We'll never need to do that again. That's just a one-time thing we do the very first time you log in. And if for some reason you're having trouble with this or you're not able to do that, our team is here to help you reply back to any of our emails. We can hop on a screen share with you. We're happy to schedule that or give you a call at a scheduled time to walk you through getting your API key in that first time you log in. Good. So now you've opened up FuseDesk for your first time. You've logged in using your Infusionsoft ID and your password, and you're able to get right in. Now, what's great about using your Infusionsoft ID and password to log into your application is as you expand your team and add new users into Infusionsoft, as soon as they're a user in Infusionsoft, boom, they can instantly log right into FuseDesk. There's no multiple passwords and multiple accounts and all this and that. As soon as someone has an Infusionsoft login, they use their same information for FuseDesk. As soon as you cancel a user account in Infusionsoft, that user can no longer log into FuseDesk. This allows you to centralize your user management, which is tremendously powerful as you're building, expanding, and growing your team, and as your company grows over time. So here we are, logged in to FuseDesk for the first time, and we're going to prompt you through our easy setup wizard here to invite a colleague. So your other users that are inside your Infusionsoft application will be listed here. And much like Tango, FuseDesk is far better with one more person. It's great to have a partner to transfer cases to, escalate cases to, etc. And as you're using a demo application, one of the helpful things we'll be covering today is how to transfer and escalate cases. And you need a second user account to do that. So go ahead and invite somebody else from your team and click on Invite and Continue. As soon as they log in, we'll go ahead and indicate that here and live on your screen, check the box and cross off having a colleague log in. The next thing you want to do is customize your reply template. What we do is we go ahead and we pull from your Infusionsoft application your company name, phone number, and other things like that, and pre-fill out a template for you. You can customize this and tweak this however you like, but this will sort of be the default reply that you and your team start with when you go to respond to customers. For the support email, by virtue of having a FuseDesk application, you have a personalized email address that your support email should go into. You don't want your customers actually seeing this or ever using it. It's really a behind-the-scenes address. And we'll set up email forwarding on the next step. So put into this box whatever your support email address is. This might be, info@yourcompany.com, help@yourcompany.com. Most of us use support@yourcompany.com. Whatever makes sense for you, go ahead and type in that support address here. And we'll put in this, support@mybiz.net. And thank you for your email. We'll go ahead and we'll pull this off and Widget Co. Inc. And we'll put a website in. Awesome. And we'll put in our phone number. Sweet. And so you can now start to personalize this template to exactly what makes sense. Now, if you're one of the savvier Infusionsoft folks on this call, you might have noticed something here. We have contact.firstname, we have logged in user first and last name, and we have some Infusionsoft look and merge fields over here. We're going to get to those later on and why those are so powerful and how that can help you out in your business. So now that we've customized this to match our needs, we can simply click on Save and Continue. Our next step here is to set up our email forwarding. So we have instructions for you for most of the major providers. If you're on Google Apps or if you're on GoDaddy, or if you're using cPanel, whatever the setup is, we provide you the step-by-step instructions for exactly what you need to do to turn your email forwarding on. As soon as you do that, boom, real live cases can start coming in to your FuseDesk application. As soon as you are sending a test forward email in, this box will check automatically up top. It'll cross off on your list, and this button will become enabled. So let's see what happens when we actually have an email coming in to our FuseDesk application. I'm just typing out a quick email here that we'll send in. I get logged in. Great. So we just sent a test message in here from my phone that'll come in here, and there we go. When a new email comes in, it comes right over here into your unassigned. And there are really two major ways of working with cases inside of FuseDesk. When an email comes in from a customer, by default, we put it over to unassigned emails queue. Think of this as like the mailbag, where everything's coming in, and your team can choose what emails they want to handle, or you can choose who to route them to, or anything like that. You also have the ability through powerful email rules and email automation inside of FuseDesk to automatically assign these emails. So you could say, for example, when any email comes in, automatically assign it to my support department. And that way those emails instantly become cases. You might also say, well, if an email comes in and it's from a contact in Infusionsoft with my VIP tag, assign it to my VIP department, right? Or if an email comes in from a contact and they are flagged as past due, automatically assigned to my billing team. And you can program all that logic directly into FuseDesk with our easy drag and drop email rule builder. But for now, we'll go with the simplest use case, which is that these emails come into unassigned emails. Well, from here, we can do a few things. We can choose to assign this to anyone in the support department. We can assign it to Jeremy. For me, we can go ahead and what we call take the case, meaning assign it to me. You have the option to ignore the email, mark it as spam or not as a case. And you have some additional options over here like bulk replying and merging and assigning those emails and more. So I'm just going to change applications here. This was a quick sandbox application for us to get set up. But let's go into one of our other sandbox applications with a bit more data for us to play around. So here we are inside of one of our other sandbox applications. And if we come over here to unassigned, you'll get a feeling for what's a little more normal looking as a handful of emails that come in that you and your team can work with. What we're able to show here is that this email was not able to be linked to a contact automatically. The rest of these are all automatically linked to contacts inside of Infusionsoft. What's great is we also support a few dozen different voicemail and fax different systems and inbound call receptionist companies and more. So when those different notes and emails and voicemails and all come in, we're able to take the phone number, look up in Infusionsoft, look for matching contacts by that phone number, and automatically link your inbound emails and cases directly to the right contact inside of Infusionsoft. Super powerful and helpful in terms of saving your team time and providing them the information that they need to keep things working super easy and super smooth. What's great about FuseDesk is we designed this as a simple two-screen interface. So when you bring on a new team member, do you want to teach them Infusionsoft from start to finish and how to do everything inside of Infusionsoft? That's not always the highlight of onboarding a new team member. With FuseDesk, they simply have to learn a two-screen interface. There's their inbox of their cases that they're able to work on. And then secondly, there's working on a case. They work on a case queue and their cases, and that's it. Now you can onboard a new support team member, and they're using a simple two-screen system to handle everything that we'll be going over here in the next few minutes, instead of having to learn Infusionsoft from start to finish. Super helpful. So when we open up a case, something really helpful is in place here, and that's that we're able to say who this customer is. And we'll hop back over here and take a look at this. So when we pull up this case, we see a few things. We see the initial email that came in from this customer. We also see all their contact information for Infusionsoft. So we're able to pull in their company name, their phone numbers, location, and more, and their name and everything. All that happened was an email was sent in, and we've linked everything up. In fact, if we click on View Customer in Infusionsoft, it brings us right to their record. And so this goes directly to that page where you can see this full contact record in Infusionsoft if you ever needed to get in there. But for our purposes, we're going to stay over here and play with what you can actually do on a case. Up top, we tell you what the case title is. This is typically the subject line, but you can rename it or change it to whatever you like. We also show you the case status here, who it's assigned to, and have a case description. Now, before we get into all of that, let's talk about why this is important. Well, these case statuses would allow you to organize your cases. See, by default, a case is new, meaning it needs your attention. A customer is looking for help, and they want you to get back to them or help resolve the issue. A customer can also have a case that's open, meaning it needs the customer's attention. Well, when might you have that? When might you have a case that's open but not new? Well, sometimes if you have a customer, for example, that for our physical goods companies, they emailed and said, hey, I didn't get the package, right? I ordered and I didn't get my box in the mail. Well, if you leave it, you can get back to the customer and say something like, well, we looked in our records and it shows that it was delivered this morning and it was left on your doorstep, no signature. Can you please confirm that you now have the package, right? Well, that case isn't resolved. It's tempting for the team to sort of sweep that under the rug and say it's all been taken care of. I replied to the customer. Well, a reply is not the same as a resolution. You want the confirmation it's been taken care of. So you might leave that case open so it stays on your radar, but it's not a new case that needs your attention. You just don't want to forget about it. So the other option or the other situation is, let's say a customer emails you and they say, yes, I'm ready to buy. Where do I go and buy this product? Well, you get back to them, providing the information to purchase. Again, it's tempting for the support team to say, great, I gave them a link to buy, this case is resolved. Well, wouldn't it be better if your team was able to follow up to make sure the customer actually completed the purchase? And by keeping that case as open versus new, it doesn't fall through the cracks and you don't lose out on those same opportunities. Remember the O in L.O.V.E, opportunity. This helps you prevent losing those opportunities. Closed, of course, is resolved, meaning your team feels the case is fully resolved to the customer satisfaction. Not a case if it was opened in error. For example, if you have broadcast emails that go out, you're using Campaign Builder for automated emails, or you're sending broadcasts out from the email broadcast tool in Infusionsoft. A customer replies back and they say something like, thanks, to one of your broadcasts. Well, that's not really a case, so you can go ahead and mark that as not a case. And lastly, what's super powerful for making sure things don't fall through the cracks is the ability to snooze your cases. So let's say you have a prospect who's emailed you and they're talking to your support team about purchasing one of your products. Your team follows up and says, great, well, here's the link to buy. Customer says, well, I'm heading off on vacation for a week. Check back in with me in a week. Well, it'd be easy for your team to just assume the customer will take care of it. But if you go ahead and snooze the case, this will go ahead and snooze that, and it'll automatically wake the case up when the customer responds automatically or at the time that you've specified. That way that case doesn't fall through the cracks, yet your team can focus on what needs the attention today versus stuff they can push off to a later date because it doesn't need attention right now. And that's how our case statuses are able to help us keep things organized and prevent them from falling through the cracks. Now, right from here, you're able to actually assign the case to other people or transfer it. Now, for our pro and enterprise customers, you have departments, and departments are one more way of keeping your cases organized. With multiple departments, you can have multiple brands in your business. You can have multiple product lines or multiple logical departments like billing, sales, technical support, tier 2 support, etc. And so you're actually able to move those cases around between departments. So right here, for example, you can see we have a billing department, a support department, an affiliates department, VIP support, etc. And so right from here is how your team can escalate a case to management when they need help from a manager or somebody else, or transfer between colleagues so the case gets to the right person who can provide the input and support that's needed. Cool. So that's a little bit of information about the case and all the information we show you here. Also throughout FuseDesk, you'll see a little help icon at the top of every page. Simply clicking that gives you more information on the screen you're looking at and allows you to jump right into a tour that walks you through the page and shows you all the information you need to know, including much of the stuff that we're talking about today. So let's continue on from here. It's time to actually respond to the customer. We have our full case history here of the email in from a customer, the case was transferred, the case was linked to a contact in Infusionsoft, and now it's time to reply to that customer. Well, when we click on reply, we pull up our default templates here, and you can have a default template category for each one of your departments. So that way you can have your billing cases, your billing category of templates, your support category, and more. This is actually pulling all of your Infusionsoft templates. And remember how before we had fields like logged in user first name, last name, contact first name? Those are all merged right here within this template. So all your team does is it comes in here and types their response. And that way they can help the customers out faster by leveraging automation and built-in Infusionsoft templates. Well, some of you mentioned that you have subscription-based businesses. Wouldn't it be cool if you're able to take care of those common inquiries that customers send in, like, for example, they're unable to log in? Well, let's pull up this Infusionsoft template that merges in some really powerful fields. We have their first name, your first name down here is the FuseDesk rep. We have additional Infusionsoft merge fields, which get merged in as it sends through Infusionsoft. In this case, their username and password. So if you're using a great membership site add-on like Memberium, or if you're using like Customer Hub or iMember360, Wishlist, any of these, they're using Infusionsoft's username, password, login fields on that contact record, or whatever custom fields you set. You can now have for your membership site-based customers the ability for them to get their login information right here in a template. Now rewind back for a moment. Remember I was sharing with you how we were looking for a solution that integrated because there was like 37 clicks for some actions? Well, if you're using a third-party unlinked help desk, your team is going to be looking at this case, then going over to Infusionsoft, searching for that contact, finding the contact, picking them from a list, scrolling down, going to additional info, grabbing a field, copy, paste, up, back. When in FuseDesk, they open the case up, choose the template, and everything is already ready to go. Click send and take care of that customer. That's part of the power of using merge fields. Now, let's say you want to use something cool like custom fields. For those of you with physical goods, we had talked about you're shipping things out in the mail. Well, if you have custom fields inside of Infusionsoft, let's say a ship date or tracking number and things like that, you're able to have a template that merges those in as well. So now if a customer is asking you for additional information and you use custom fields in your Infusionsoft application, all of that can be merged right in here within this template as well to get back to that customer. What about automation links? Imagine a customer emails you and they want to upgrade their account. If you want them to go ahead and go through that process, you can include an automation link here. This is an internal Infusionsoft link that when the customer clicks the email and they go into that link, it'll bring them to a page. You can run automation, for example, apply a tag when they click this link. You can pre-fill out the form for them. And if you're running online commerce and you have online registration pages, do you think your conversion will go up if the form is pre-filled out for that customer? You betcha. And that's part of the power of automation links, tied into Infusionsoft, all accessible and leverageable right here inside of FuseDesk. So that's a quick overview of templates and how you can use those inside of FuseDesk. You can manage and edit your templates here in FuseDesk. You can also take care of that inside of Infusionsoft too, either way. So along with case history, aside from just email, you also have the ability to work with notes, right? So with notes, this can either be an internal note for you and your team, for example, of what package was selected on the order form. Please check the hard copy order forms to see what package the customer requested. Okay, we might add an internal note here for our team. And we might then transfer this case to somebody else. And then we might come back here and call that customer and log a phone call. Spoke with customer about order options, discussed packages, and customer would like to upgrade today. Order processed. Sweet, and we can log that as a phone call. Now, right from this case here, your team is now logging internal notes, transferring cases, replying by email. We can click over to automation, and we can run Infusionsoft automation. If you're using legacy action sets, or more importantly, Campaign Builder, you have the ability to run those action sets and apply tags right from here. So for example, if you had a member who wanted to cancel their membership, you can apply a canceled membership tag to kick off an entire Infusionsoft campaign. You could run a legacy action set as well. Let's say you have a customer who is a VIP. We can simply apply the VIP tag to them. That's now applying an Infusionsoft tag to them right here from inside of FuseDesk, right? You also have the ability, let's say you're integrating with a third-party system, right? You might want to be able to create a login for them to a membership site, or run something through Plus This, or push something out through one of the other add-ons in the marketplace, or send them over to Dialogger, or do any of these kind of different things. Right from the automation tab, you simply choose the tag to apply. That kicks off a Campaign Builder campaign, and all the automation runs. And all that history is tied right here in the case as well. Well, check this out. If we click on to view this customer inside of Infusionsoft, what might we see? Well, here we are managing the contact. And if we scroll down, well, check this out. The customer has that VIP member tag we just applied over in FuseDesk. We also have notes here. We have the internal notes, and we have the phone call notes logged and tracked here inside of Infusionsoft. We have our emails to and from the customer stored down here. And so now, instead of looking in all these different places inside of Infusionsoft for all the data, you can look at it in a organized, threaded fashion right here on a case. You have an email from a customer, a response, a transfer, an internal note, phone call notes, and so much more, all stored in one place, as well as stored inside of Infusionsoft. This is super powerful with keeping your data organized and on top of things. Now, I'm curious, by a quick show of hands, how many of you are in the management role? You manage your support team. Nobody's managing the support team. Okay, cool. Well, let me give you a quick overview of what your management team will be looking at when they're inside of FuseDesk. On the side here, we have colored gemstones. This lets you know at a glance which cases, departments, individuals need attention based on the color. It goes from green to yellow to red based on the last response to the customer and how long ago that was. So as manager, you'll quickly skim down the list here. Look for any case queues that have gone from green to yellow to red, and that tells you where there might need some attention. So we can simply click into a case queue here. That pulls us up, and we can see how long it's been since different cases were attended to. The next thing we do is we head down, and we're able to look at our reports. Now, our reports are able to provide a ton of great information for you. One of my favorites is the case movement time report. It shows how long it takes cases to move from being assigned, first responded to, and fully resolved. The other one I like looking at is our case feedback that shows customer feedback that they're sending back in. And we'll touch on that just a little bit more here in a few minutes. But all this information is great as a manager if you're digging in and looking at the reports, or if you want to self-manage your information and look at it for your own self. But how great is it if you come over here in a case queue and we're able to provide some of those key metrics for you right inside of your queues. And that's what we have at the top of each queue is the quick stats that you need to know how well you and your team are doing. So for example, we're able to show you how long it takes for cases to be first assigned, responded to, and resolved. And then we show you the star rating for that individual queue. And so at a glance, you and your entire team know all the stats for how well you're doing, so you can stay on top of your KPIs and what metrics matter most, right from inside of FuseDesk. So good. Let's jump back in here for a second and talk about how with FuseDesk Integrated Help Desk, you and your support team can be taking better care of your customers better than ever today. FuseDesk was built for Infusionsoft from day zero, and that makes it easy for you and your team to handle inbound customer support. This is why Ryan Dice, digital marketer, shared with us that FuseDesk is the ultimate platform for automating the post-sale customer experience for any Infusionsoft user. If you were at ICON, you probably had a chance to meet the digital marketer team or catch their presentations. There's a reason they love FuseDesk and they recommend it for their customers. There's also a reason Sam Bennett shared with us that FuseDesk makes me look like a team of 20 working 24/7. I love the ease of communication in a way that feels very warm and personal. And for those of you who saw the GKIC presentations or visited GKIC at Infusionsoft, there's a reason that Darcy shared with us that they wanted a seamless solution for their sales reps and customer service associates, and FuseDesk has been amazing. Now, there's an ICON16 special that you guys all took advantage of, and that's the reason you're here on the call today. And that was that you got a free demo app with no time limit, no credit card needed. It's fully functional, and it's able to work for you and a colleague. Now, from today's call so far, hopefully you've been following along in your own application, and you've invited a colleague to join you, you've set up your template, and you're starting to be able to use the power and integration of FuseDesk with your Infusionsoft application. When you are ready to upgrade, we have 3 different plans that can fit you and your business. We have our enterprise plans. These are folks we're talking about there like GKIC or digital marketer that have larger support and sales teams where there's not only a full support team, there's also support management. We also have our pro team, our pro plan. This is where most of our customers are, and this is for established businesses with typically 2 or more dedicated support reps. We also have our light plan. This is more for solopreneurs or business owners with an admin who are just getting started. The cool thing is that FuseDesk grows with you. We're all seat-based. All of our plans are based on, there's a cost per seat per year per month, and you simply scale up and down with us as your team grows and changes over time. So if you're seasonal or have a product launch and things like that, and you're scaling up for a period of a month or 2, no problem. We go up with you. As soon as you don't need those seats, you go ahead and downgrade those seats, and you only pay for what you need in your business. Again, our Pro is our most common plan, where most of our folks coming out of ICON16 are fitting in their business, as well as a handful of enterprise as well. Now, for those of you taking careful notes, you might have noticed that we're talking about what is love, and we didn't get to the E yet. Are you guys okay if before Q&A we over-deliver and talk a little bit more about what the E is in love? Yeah. Well, the E comes down to engagement. Now, we're showing with the templates how your team can really engage with the customers, keep it human, and keep things personal with these really personalized templates using Infusionsoft merge fields and custom fields, right? Now your team's able to leverage technology to do the heavy lifting, like loading up a template, but then add in their own personal feel within that email. Engagement means a lot more, though. Here's a question for you guys. What do happy customers do? When you're engaging with your customers and they're happy, what do your happy customers do? Well, they stay with you longer, they buy more, and they refer their friends. So how do we know how happy customers are with us? Well, you ask them. So what are some ways that you could ask your customers how satisfied they are? And by a quick show of hands, how many of you in your business right now are already asking your customers in some way how happy they are with you and your company? Okay, good. Great. Okay, good. So there are a number of ways we can do this. One of them that you guys have probably seen and might use yourself is NPS or Net Promoter Score. Another way is through surveys, right? And there's also a more targeted survey called a post-service survey, which is after they've had an interaction with you, asking the question and getting the feedback then. So with FuseDesk, we have the ability to, after a case is resolved, to automatically send out a follow-up email that asks the customer to rate how they feel things went, 1 to 5 stars, and optionally provide some additional feedback. What's cool about this is what you do with that data. You can fully customize how that looks, works, and feels. And one of our customers did something great with that data. So Logan over at Superman Herbs is a FuseDesk customer of ours and has the feedback setting turned on and gets their ratings back in. And they're able to tell, trend over time, how well they and the team are doing and where the customer satisfaction ratings are. And they put that out there for their own customers to see. So right on their website, when they talk about customer service being the golden rule for their business and why 5 stars is so important, they list out their company's contact information and what they're able to do for their customers. And they show a graph of their data of how satisfied their customers are. And they own this and put it right out there. So their customers can see exactly how the support team is doing and how happy other customers are with them. And they're able to stand behind their data. How cool is that? We were thrilled when we saw that they were taking reports out of FuseDesk and putting them on their website, not to use internally, but for their own customers to see. Just a kind of cool idea for you there as well. We also touched on reporting earlier, and this is why we have our deep reporting system inside of FuseDesk. So you're able to yourself track the feedback ratings over time, find out specific answers to questions that your customers might have after a case is resolved when they leave feedback. One thing we like to do from a management standpoint is highlight when cases are handled well and let the team know about those 5-star reviews, and obviously look into when cases got lower ratings so we can find out what went well or what went wrong there as well. And this all comes down to engaging with your customers, closing that feedback loop, and understanding exactly what you guys are doing right, wrong, and where we can improve. So in summary, you want to make sure that you love your customers. And remember that acronym L.O.V.E. You want to be able to use the right systems to help reduce refunds, returns, and chargebacks, just like Ed did in his business when he was able to use 2 simple strategies inside of FuseDesk to reduce that return rate from 18% to 10%, which resulted in right around $200,000 of sales he kept in the business versus refunding and returning. You want to be able to increase your customer lifetime value, like Bernardo was doing by using the right systems and the right save systems with those templates. They were able to increase that customer lifetime value and keep those members with them longer. You want to be able to get the insights that you deserve with key reporting, so you can see how well your team is doing and where you and the team might need help. It's important for you to make life easier for your team. Allow them to have one login, be able to leverage templates, be able to run automation, and have them use a simple 2-screen system in FuseDesk versus using multiple systems, duct tape, and a whole lot of wasted time and energy. And most of all, we want to talk about how we can turn customer service into a profit center like we covered today, with providing your customers links to easily buy, change their membership, save cancellations and sales by helping customers to downgrade or upgrade to a different product or purchase what they need most, and provide them the right save offer at the right time. Customer service isn't just about taking care of your existing customers. For many of us, customer service is taking care of our future customers as well. So you guys all have a FuseDesk demo app already. What we encourage you to do is continue to use your application, reach out to us if you need help setting up your API key, turning on your email forwarding, configuring your templates, getting going, or anything else like that. And when you're ready, right inside of your application, you've got a big button there to upgrade your application, and you can go ahead and activate it and choose the right plan that makes sense for you and your team today. So if you're still with us, I'm going to open the floor up to Q&A right now. So if you do have any questions, I'm going to go through the list here. I'm happy to jump back in application, go through things in app, and answer your specific questions. So cool. We had somebody ask about integrations with membership sites. So if you are using, for example, like Memberium is a great example of a membership site add-on for Infusionsoft. There are a few different ways. We've got a free WordPress plugin that's available. Let me show you what that looks like here. Excellent. Just pulling up the right link for you. So we've got a free WordPress plugin which integrates your WordPress site to FuseDesk, and this allows your customers to, for example, open a new case. They can fill out this form, or if they're already logged in as a member, we'll pre-fill their name and address in. And as they type what kind of help they need, we automatically search your different posts and things that you have to see what might make the most sense for them. So, for example, let's say the customer is typing in sample. We've got suggested posts for them, right? As soon as they click Create Support Case, right from inside of Memberium or your other WordPress site, this will create a support case in FuseDesk assigned, given the rules you've set up for how it assigns, so it gets to the right person to get that customer the help they need. They also have the ability with another short code to view their cases right inside of WordPress as well. So that's an option that you have in terms of how we integrate the different sites. From a template standpoint, you'll use the merge fields and the templates like we showed for username, password, and things like that. Good. Cool. Somebody had a question here regarding the L.O.V.E acronym. Just to recap for you, that comes down to the lifetime, opportunity, value, and engagement. I can go back to that slide, but I think you had that already. So lifetime, opportunity, value, and engagement. Excellent. Great. So we had a question regarding a call center environment. So if you're running a call center and you're looking to use FuseDesk for many of your different customers, we've worked with a number of call centers, both domestic and international, whose customers use FuseDesk. So we're happy to talk to you more about that offline. So Jeff, we're happy to talk to you offline about that. Cool. There's another question here regarding our partner program. If you are an Infusionsoft certified partner, or you're working with additional folks who might want to use FuseDesk, you want to talk to Ben on our team, you can head to FuseDeskPartners.com for more information about that. And that looks like this. So FuseDeskPartners.com is more information on our partner program. And so you can go ahead and just enroll in our partner program from there. Additionally, just back on the call center side of things for a moment, there's some pretty cool stuff we can do with call centers, depending on what systems you have in terms of doing screen pops or what else. And there's sort of some best practices we're happy to share with you on that side. What's great is for your customers who aren't doing a ton of service on their own, but they've outsourced their customer service. There's a number of outsourced customer service vendors that we've worked with as well that help to either provide the 24/7 coverage when your team is not in the office, or help you scale up temporarily or longer term. So again, if you need help on the staffing side as well, we don't do that, but we have FuseDesk partners who do just that. They're happy to help you out with. Cool. Great question regarding importing older data. So right inside of FuseDesk, if you're moving from a different system, if you click on your settings here, one of your options is data import. We have a data import partner who's built all these really great integrations that pull data in from a few dozen other help desks out there. All you do is click and import my data. It links up to your old system and links up to your new FuseDesk app. And they're able to get you a quote on what's involved in migrating all the data over API to API in the back end. It's fast, it's powerful. They're able to roll back your imports and everything. But the first step is you do what's called a test import. So you click over to import my data, and you do your free sample import. You choose where you're coming from, and then you plug in your old system, your new system, and you're off and running from there. That's how you can import your older data over as well. Cool, great question. Excellent. There's a question regarding phone systems. So one thing we didn't even touch on in today's call, as we're going over so much here, is that right inside of FuseDesk, we have a built-in outbound dialer. Now, if you've got a sales team working on pre-sales things, or if you've got your support team doing customer callbacks, right from inside of FuseDesk, you're able to mouse over this phone number and dial that customer. We click on call, and this pops right up here. And that call makes an outbound call, provides you all the information here. Your team can type their notes about that call. They can continue to navigate around FuseDesk, and this call stays up top here. And as soon as they're done, they click on hang up, and that goes into a post-call state where they can continue to finish up their notes, run the automation, follow up by email, all that, and then they click wrap up, and that call's all done, and they're now available to make the next call. Including dial pad for muting calls, dial pad configuration, all that kind of stuff. So that is built on the outbound dialing side. On the inbound, we have the ability for your call system, so long as it can do a screen pop, which I know we're getting a little technical here, but that can screen pop for your contacts once they answer an inbound call with whatever system you have. In regards to us parsing the voicemails and faxes like I was sharing earlier, we support a few dozen different systems out there. Pretty much whatever you're using for either a virtual answering service company, receptionists, voicemail system, phone system, if it generates an email that you can have go to your support address, we can work with that. And if we don't support it, let us know what system it is, and that's pretty easy for us to put the parser in there to get that in place. So for example, we're able to take phone numbers from Google Voice, from Pat Live, Ruby Receptionist, 8x8, Google Voice, RingCentral, Grasshopper, eFax. Again, we've got dozens of integrations that we're able to connect up with. Cool. Question here regarding internationalization. If you are working with a team that in English isn't the primary language that your team works with, we're able to help you there in a number of really great ways. First of all, most all of the data that you're working with inside of Infusionsoft is user-generated, either by your customers or by your team. So, for example, if we were to go over to your departments, let's go to your department settings so you can see what that looks like here. Whatever these department names are, you can go ahead and call us something in your language. So if it's French or it's Spanish or Portuguese or whatever, you simply put in the name of your department when you create a new department and call it what makes sense for your business in your language. Secondly, when we're coming into our templates here, you're able to have a template with the names that are in whatever your language is, and you're able to, again, have the entire template in whatever your language is. Infusionsoft still has some challenges regarding certain character sets. Everything we all do, if we can geek out for a moment, is all UTF-8, so we're able to support it all. There's just sometimes some issues going through Infusionsoft, but on our side, we're fully UTF-8 compliant, and we'll happily handle all of that. Furthermore, if there's a language you want the entire interface of FuseDesk in, would love to talk to you about that. So do reach out, let us know what's important to you and what language your team works in, so we can discuss that. Cool. Let me go ahead and just check what other questions we have here. Yeah, there's a question that just came in here about creating new cases manually. Yeah, so let's say that you open up a store and customers walk in, like let's say you've got a gym and customers open cases in person with you guys. You're able to easily just click over here to new case and figure out who that customer is, and we can link that up for you this way too. So there's Bob at Acme Widget. It's automatically assigned to you, type in what the case is about, and it can go from there. Also, in regards to creating new cases, you can actually have Campaign Builder in Infusionsoft create a new FuseDesk case. So from a workflow standpoint, instead of creating like an Infusionsoft task, you can now create a case. So remember we talked about Ed earlier and reducing their refund rate? One of the strategies they used was every new one of their customers got a welcome call from their team. He realized in their business that when a customer buys during a product launch, sometimes there can be a little bit of buyer's remorse, or customers are looking for an excuse not to buy, and your team not getting back to them is a great excuse not to buy. It makes them feel a little worried that they've just sort of been scammed online, right? And so they said, well, if we're able to reach out to our customers proactively by phone right away, we can let them know that we're here to support them. We can make sure they have the login information, they're able to access their product, and we can provide some great service and really wow them right from the get-go. And so what they had is inside Campaign Builder, when that customer purchased, it automatically created a new case in FuseDesk for the customer welcome wagon to call that customer by phone. And that's one of the two strategies they use to dramatically reduce those refunds. So yes, you can create cases right from Campaign Builder as well. Awesome. Good. So sometimes data management is important. There's a question here regarding organizing your cases. So there's a few things you can do. One is you're able to merge cases. So if you've got like a customer emails you and says, "Hey, where's my package?" and like 10 minutes later they email and say, "Oh, just arrived," and you have two cases. That's pretty easy for you to take two cases from the same customer, and you can simply merge the cases. In terms of organization, we also have what are called case tags. That's these little guys down here. When you're working on cases, you have the ability to apply tags. So there's Infusionsoft tags which apply to contacts. Then there are case tags which apply to cases. So you can create these on the fly or choose from your previously created case tags. Something like a bug if you're doing software stuff, right? Or if you get returns or cancellations, it's good to track your cancellations, right? You may also then put in cancellation reasons, right? You can put in, cancellation reasons that way, create new tags. And so once you have those tags, you can at a glance see those cases. You can also find those cases. With the case search we have in FuseDesk, you can do things like we can search by name. So if we put in something like Bob S, we'll search your Infusionsoft application, and we found out who the contact was, and we've now pulled up all of Bob Smythe's cases here, right? And this is just by plugging in that contact name. What's great, by the way, is if your phone's ringing and you're like, oh, who's this customer? You can put in something like a phone number in the search box, and we'll then search for contacts with that phone number. And that way we take the phone number, we look in Infusionsoft, we find here 3 matching contacts, and you can then jump into the right customer who might be calling you so you can better help them out. Right. Additionally, we have our advanced case search, which is really powerful here. There's a number of cool things this can do. Again, clicking the help bubble can bring up information like some samples. So you can say, show me all cases open today or my snoozed cases. You can also do things like show me cases that have this case tag, right? And so we'll search for all your cases with that particular case tag. So you can quickly get to the cases that you and your team need. That's some of the ways that you're able to keep all your cases organized. Good. We were talking about email rules. So we shared how email rules can route based on Infusionsoft tags. You can also be they can also be routed based on the email address. So if you have multiple brands, right, you might have product A. Let's say you've got mastermind, membership, events, and product sales, right? You can create different departments for each of those. And then when an email comes in, if it's sent to events@yourcompany.com, an email rule can automatically route that to your events department, right? Same thing if you want to offer VIP members a different email address like vip@mycompany.com, that can automatically route to your VIP support address. And that's all configured right here. Under settings, you can go to email rules. And you can configure all those rules right there. Also powerful is if you have different companies that you run in your one Infusionsoft application, like different brands. So for example, with us, we have FuseDesk, our flagship our product on the help desk side. We also have FeedBolt, which is our RSS to email service. We also have InstaCharger, which lets you process one-click upsells and automated purchases instantly in Infusionsoft and more. We simply have different departments for those. And what that means is when we have an email that comes into support@fusedesk.com, we can route it to the FuseDesk department. If it's support@feedbolt.com, it goes to our FeedBolt department. And we're able to route based on what email address that customer emailed to. Beyond that, if you go into your departments, you're able to edit what template category is used by default. This keeps your templates organized for your team. And what your default email reply template is listed right here as well configure feedback settings, the color coding, and more. We touched on the color gemstones here in terms of how we color code the cases as well as your sidebar links. Well, those are customizable on a department by department basis. And the reason we have them customizable is we had a customer of ours who was a law firm, and they recognized with their cost for acquisition on a per customer basis was in like the hundreds of dollars. So when they had a lead who needed legal assistance and reached out to them, if they didn't get back to that customer quickly, that customer or that prospect moved on to the next law firm in the Yellow Pages, and they got the phone call and didn't convert it to a customer, and that's now hundreds of dollars that they've spent to not get a customer. So it was really expensive for them. So they said, hey, Jeremy, can we dial these colors down from our standard to more customizable? So for example, if we don't get back to a customer within 1 hour, we want the case to go from green to yellow, right? In 2 hours, yellow to red, or whatever fraction thereof. And that way they could really dial in from a management standpoint how old cases are getting when it needed feedback. Great. Cool. So some questions on reporting in terms of integrations. So great question. Thank you for that one. If you head over to your reports here, any report you're looking at, you're able to fully customize these in our report builder in terms of the time frame, in terms of how you want this data broken down. You can even apply filters, right? You can even have this go just to certain departments and more. You can choose how to group your data and so much more. Now on the right of that, you also have export. Now, with any of our data, you can download a CSV of all the data you're looking at here. You can get that in a comma-separated value format, which you can open in Excel or Google Sheets or whatever you use. You can save an image of this if you're creating reports. Some of our customers create executive reports to go over with their management team from time to time. And so you can just save the image or copy it to your clipboard and put it into a report. For our developer friends out there, you can also export this in JSON. Clicking on this will give you all the data you're looking at in a machine-readable format. And lastly, if you're using third-party dashboards or add-ons, you can view the API URL, which you can, again, send this to your developer or your dashboard company. This URL will bring up everything you're looking at on your screen, but again, as data. And it'll look something like this. Not meant for humans, but computers love it. So yeah, whether you're using like guiding metrics or Wicked Reports or HipDash or any of these sort of third-party add-ons, that's the URL you'll want to provide for them to add that report in for you. Great questions. Cool, let me just check our question backlog here, make sure I got everything. Good. Okay, awesome. I think I got all your questions. So with that, thank you again for joining us today. The cool thing is you joined us live, so you got to ask your questions and get answers to them. Of course, any additional questions you have regarding logging in, accessing your API key, and more, all that can, we're here to help you on that, so all that can be taken care of easily on your own or with us. Email support@FuseDesk.com. Reply back to any of our emails. Give us a call. Schedule a screen share time with us. We can hop on a call and go over stuff with you one-on-one. We're here for you. We're here to help you be successful in this, and we're here to help you turn your help desk into a profit center in your business. So please reach out to us, get logged into your app, get using it today, and let us know how we can help you. Thank you. Jeremy Shapiro out.